Election 2080 Pilot. Written by Eamon Hartnett. Election 2080 is the Silver Spoon series of the Utensil franchise. Text copyright 2016 through 2020. Audio recording 2020. Narrated by the writer. Act 1. On Black. Demons set loose on the earth to lower the standards for the perfect and holy children of God, which is what we are. Make no mistake about it. What's happened to us? After 8 years of Ronald Reagan and yuppies, we live on like the third mall from the sun now. Bill Hicks. On Black. The following takes place on an alternate timeline, where Kanye West never wore the MAGA hat. Fade in. Exterior, Rose Bowl, night. 90,000 people listen to Isaiah Isaacoff, 38. Shining blue eyes, just short of 5'6". He wears a red and blue plaid shirt and glitter-covered black skinny jeans. His fair hair's a top knot over an undercut, with a narcissus flower. He holds a vaporizer. He speaks in a Boston accent. Chiron, Rose Bowl, Pasadena, CA. 8:11 p.m., Tuesday, November 7th, 2028. Isaiah. But tonight is proof that we've learned our lesson, and that lesson is simply this: that when we let high technology blur our line between entertaining performer and policy expert, all we're left with is dangerous, demonic, fevered ego. Both political parties have been sick of that same contagious disease. In 12 years, all that Republican President Donald Trump and then Democrat President Kanye West ever gave us was their own smelly, infantile self-service. Now, with all due respect to the great Mr. Rogers, the gifts of the honest selves of those mean, rude, atomistic, empathy-deficient males turned out to be just not especially great gifts. The crowd cheers with much enthusiasm. He puffs his vape. Isaiah. Now, some people say I'm too young to be president, or that my generation's hopelessly unqualified to bring an end to an era of hyper-individualism and hip, cynical, valueless, ironic detachment. But I say these elements of our national philosophy were imposed on us, and that in fact we young people have a fresher, more distant, dare I say, more objective take on it all. I mean, like, weren't folks my age the first in English to make the word I lowercase? The crowd goes wild. His hands shake. He holds his head high, standing straight, with his chest puffed and shoulders back. Another vape hit. Interior amusement hall. Day. A loud, windowless, futuristic, indoor amusement park and shopping mall. Hundreds of consumers glide on hovering boards over a bright, multicolored floor. Almost all have eyes that artificially glow brightly in various colors. Many wear bright, multicolored clothes. Chiron. Wang and Wang Amusement Hall, 2 Core 11, Tibet, China. 11:14 a.m., Wednesday, June 29th, 2078, 50 years later. Most have facial features and skin tones beautifully mixing and blurring the full diversity of human ethnicity. Most are unnaturally tall, the adults all over 6 feet. Most move alone or in pairs. A group of 3 teenagers, 17 through 18, all ethnically ambiguous, gorgeous giants, glide through. 2 of them, Doug and Sarah, look blissful and excited. The other, Winnie, our main protagonist, is thoughtful, bored, and dissatisfied, lagging behind her friends. Sincerely humble, Winnie's in search of guidance and better role models, troubled by her friends' vanity and artificiality. Doug. My favorite was the opium simulation. Sarah. I'd go Buddhist meditation pills. These made Tibet the best stop. Doug's eyes glow yellow, Sarah's green, and Winnie's light blue. Sarah takes a few black pills from a bottle. These pills each have a yellow wheel of Dharma on them. A hologram of one such pill, Anatta, appears with a cute face. Anatta, the non-self pill, for enhanced sensation of eternal cosmic return and extinguishing of mortal human soul, in high doses meant to cause spiritual emptiness and ego death, bringing one's self-esteem scale rating below 1.0, may cause lack of individuation and recklessly low self-worth. This talking pill hologram vanishes. Winnie. You guys realize we can get both of those back in the USA, right? Doug, they're not as meaningful there. Many consumers carry food or are naturally small and otherwise genetically engineered animals. Piercings and multicolored tattoos, brightly dyed hair, and elaborate makeup abound. Many stare at holograms in front of them. Sarah, when I'm 30, I bet I'll be flying here like every month. Winnie, sorry, you know how expensive that is? You'd have to be in government or talent rep. Literally just one in every, 600,000 Americans. Don't even try. There's a giant statue of the Wang and Wong logo. 2 snakes, one red and one blue, eating each other's tails, intertwined in a double helix shape resembling the backbones of DNA, with many rows of golden apples between them as the bases. Winnie, it's like you may as well plan to bonk a natural, vermilion-haired Scandinavian swimmer out on Mars. Doug, come on, Winnie, let a guy dream. You're just bitter because you don't have enough social media subscribers to get an agent yet. At this rate, you know you'll never even be a city alderman. This insult hurts, Winnie. Sarah, well, I already got 6.2 thousand subscribers on Cheer Me and Disco Pete, so I'd be a great president of the USA. Doug, I'll beat you with videos from this trip, though. I got way sicker shots, and you know I'm dope at cutting them. Sarah, no sandcastles chance in Florida. Interior, Simon's apartment. Night. A windowless room with walls, floor, and ceiling glowing yellow. It's empty except for a bed, in which sleeps Simon, 35, our secondary protagonist, wearing bright, multicolored pajamas. He's never done a loyal or altruistic thing in his life, with no motivation beyond immediate self-gratification. Chiron, Simon's apartment, Denver, Colorado, 3:40 a.m. Wednesday, June 29th, 2078. Like most Americans of his time, he longs to feel popular among large numbers of people he doesn't care for. He wakes up and yawns, eyes glowing cyan. A male British AI voice, Service, speaks from the walls. Service, voiceover. Good morning, Simon. Up for a bit? Simon. Yeah, news me up. The walls, floor, and ceiling turn light blue, glowing brighter. Holograms appear overhead, depicting what Service narrates. A silver robotic arm comes out of the wall and feeds Simon several white pills. Service, voiceover. Top trending stories this morning. USA presidential runs have just been announced by Cato P. Marcuse and Justine Beatty. Each has over 400 million USA subscribers to their major media pages. Cato declared his candidacy with this video starring his dog, Fisharliot. Soft, soothing music plays. In hologram are Cato P. Marcuse, 43, and a tiny blue dog, Fisharliot, proportions of a Great Dane, size of a Chihuahua. All 4 eyes glowing every color of the rainbow at once, rolling around together on unnaturally bright multicolored grass. With all of Simon's hubris times 1,000, Cato will shortly become Simon's main antagonist. Cato, voiceover. For the longest time, I always stupidly couldn't even tell what people meant when they talked about their spirit animal. I mean, is it the animal we find the cutest, the silliest, the sexiest, the sparkliest, the best roar? In a series of shots, Cato and Fisharliot cuddle, eat, ride on a dark magenta horse, etc. Simon smiles. Cato, voiceover. But the day I found out what it really meant was the day I met Fishy. My buddy Fisharliot has ever after been a perfect blessing to me in the most profound Humi sense of the word. He led me to openly own that irreplaceable, unbroken, aching burst deep inside my heart. So when my agents asked if I wanted to run for president, I don't think it's any shock who I turn to. Simon. Next. The hologram moves on from Cato's video. Service, voiceover. Justine Beatty announced her run with a flash mob at... Simon. Not the election. All these politicians are just way too motivated. Like it all matters. Can we wait until we're at least 2 years away, please? Service, voiceover. Fora Boutique released a new Carmine lobster simulation that has 2.3 billion rentals. Simon. Stream it and feed me a few loose gulas. And to reference the great original actor/president Ronald Reagan, it's like a brighter breakfast time beginning again now in America. The silver robotic arm now feeds Simon several cyan pills. Interior airplane, day. A windowless plane full of passengers resembling the consumers we've seen. Doug, eyes still glowing yellow, watches a hologram of the same Cato P. Marcuse video Simon just saw. Sarah, eyes still glowing green, listens to music. Winnie, eyes now glowing dark blue, stays thoughtful. Winnie. Hey, sorry about yesterday. You're right, it's fun to imagine we'll get to explore this little dirt globe more. If you could move to another country, which would you? Sarah. Like, I could maybe move for creative media collaboration, like anywhere, but my standards are higher than the Andes. Winnie. Okay, but see, for me, all that entertainment and celebrity junk's just a stupid food fight. That world's too small and boring and fake for me. I need a real enemy. This might sound way too on the nose, but I want to shatter my ego and submit to and work my way up like a real social or cosmic hierarchy, be on a team with a real organic, authentic leader, with danger, action, and higher stakes. Doug and Sarah both look at Winnie like she's crazy. Doug reaches into his bag for a pill bottle labeled Loose. The bottle's divided into 7 sections, with differently colored pills. A hologram of a white pill, Superbia, appears briefly, also with a cute animated face. Superbia. Loose. You only live once, so love only oneself eternally. Doug. Take some loose Nvidias. Anything to shut your temperance hole. Winnie. What? It's a free universe. Maybe it's bad to just love only oneself. Maybe it's better to be altruistic and servile and subordinate and... Sarah. Servile and subordinate to what? Like a church, a state, or the violent whims of natural genes? If you play with real stakes, you'll probably get stabbed with one. Doug rolls his eyes and takes several yellow loose pills. A hologram of a yellow pill with a cute face, Acadia, appears. Acadia, the sloth pill, for enhanced enjoyment of sleep and lounging. May cause lack of industriousness and excessive idleness and urge for sleep. This hologram vanishes. Doug closes his eyes. Doug. Live your truth, but I'm out. Winnie. Remember that super grumpy old dude we once found living in a cabin on Mount Rogers? I bet he doesn't count subscribers or want to be president of a phony little leaderless vacuum like the USA. Maybe he gets it. Sarah. Even with eugenics, drugs, and cyborghood, people living in the outside world like that are way more likely to have lower modern divine alienation and self-love, and so be more naturally earthly, ethnocentric, patriarchal, tribal, hierarchical, alpha male worshipping, territorial, and zealous for authoritarian religion. Winnie. Yeah, well, you know I'm not about to full-on submit to the dirty words of any illiterate, barbaric, ape-like primitive rural fascism, or its angry, jealous, lazy, modern urban communist reflection. We're all too smart and self-assured for those pathologies. Sarah. It's not my job to educate you. We're all genetically engineered geniuses who passed 8th grade philosophy, biology, and history here. But remember, Winnie, even in our artfully constructed, self-esteeming inside world, superb self-love remains an active choice, like an active verb. Interior Simon's apartment. Day. The room now resembles the typical living room of a late 20th century American family sitcom. The daytime suburban world outside is clearly just still 2D images printed on backdrops. Again in pajamas, eyes now glowing green, Simon sits holding a loose pill bottle, identical to the one Doug used, unnoticed by the family around him. None of their eyes glow, but instead look naturally brown. The TV screen reads, Current Live Viewers, 113. A middle-aged father reads a black and white newspaper. His suit, gray, suggests this is the 1950s. A teenage daughter reads a brightly colored teen magazine. Her acid-washed jeans and big hair say 1980s. A teenage son enters, O's emo. Son, comedically annoyed. Oh God, Dad, you realize your daughter's like next level out of control, right? Daughter, comedically offended. What do you know, dweeb? An unseen audience is heard laughing. Simon smiles contentedly every time they do. Father's comedically serious. Father. Oh, come now, what's this? Son. She kept me up all night playing that dumbass cello or whatever, or more like trying to play it. Audience laughs. Daughter. Grow up, spaz. You mean my bass? If you're gonna diss me, at least learn the words. Audience cheers. Son. Ugh, you have no chill. Father. Alright, that's enough. I won't have this kind of fresh language in my house. Now I'm sure we'll be able to come to some sort of reasonable compromise here. So, sweetheart, tell us, how late were you up practicing last night? Daughter. Like 1-ish? Audience oohs. Father. 1 o'clock in the morning on a school night? Honey, I'm sorry, but that's just unacceptable. Simon takes a few red loose pills. A hologram of this pill, Era, also appears briefly. Era, the wrath pill, for enhanced enjoyment of exercise and energetic motion and sensation of passionate heat, may cause lack of patience and excessive anger. Son. Zoom, knew he'd take my side. Daughter. Gag me with Jerusalem's silver spoon. Simon. Pause. The family freezes in time. They were holograms. Simon. Okay, I want to play the other parent now and reprimand my husband. My precious babies have every charitable right to shine. That ought to drive my live view count up to at least 150, right? Several dozen hologram doubles of Simon appear, like mannequins, each with clothing and hair of men and women from different centuries, continents, and classes, like medieval peasant and Victorian aristocrat. Simon examines them. Interior airport, night. A giant windowless hangar open at two ends. Passengers get off a plane. Floating boxy apartments, of many various colors and surface designs, glide in a row. Passengers enter them, and the apartments glide out. Again on their hovering boards, Winnie, Doug, and Sarah wait in line for their homes. Chiron, Grayson County Airport, Independence, Virginia, 3:46 a.m., Friday, July 1st, 2078. The artificial glow of Winnie's eyes is now powered off, leaving a vacant dark gray. Doug's glow red, Sarah's blue. Winnie. But what's the harm in just trying to contact that old wild man today? Doug. For me, time. Every moment you spend with him is one you could instead spend on your own celebrity. Everyone getting back from their high school graduation trip today has the rest of the day to cut pretty videos in the peace of their home. It's not like you're about to drop a sick collab with that old barbarian. Make your own choice, but don't expect our sympathy when you're left behind. Doug takes several blue and several magenta loose pills. The holograms of these two pills, blue avaritias and magenta luxurias, appear briefly. Luxuria, the lust pill, for enhanced enjoyment of romance, creativity, and may cause lack of chastity and sensation, and excessive affectionate desire, may cause lack of charity and excessive restlessness and hoarding. Sarah. Yeah, Winnie, just like bury your self-destructive, bloody bronze hatchet under the cold, hard, shining ground of your own holy, constructive work for a healthy bead, and then see how you feel about it all. Interior Simon's apartment, day. Now the sitcom version of a high school auditorium. Simon, eyes glowing yellow, in a grayscale June Cleaver house dress and pearls, with a tall, bright magenta and green mohawk, sits in a crowd between the father and son, watching a band concert in which the daughter plays slap bass. Son's crying. Son. Gee, you know, Dad, I'm real sorry I ever complained about her. Her music sure is something, isn't it? The unseen audience awes. The son's emo mascara runs, leaving big black stains on his face and clothes. Father. Yes, it is, son, and that only goes to show you. Everybody freezes in time around Simon, who looks confused. Service, voiceover. Sorry to disturb you, Simon, but your total views on Shimmy and Disco Pete just rose by 8 times in the last 5 minutes. Simon looks shocked beyond belief. Fade out. Act 2. Fade in. Exterior Mount Rogers, day. A dry, dying wilderness, full of multicolored pollution. High up the mountain stands a lone brown wood cabin facing east. Outside it sits former USA President Isaiah Isaacoff, now 88, long gray hair and a beard, balding, natural eyes still ocean blue, now even shorter. Chiron, Mount Rogers, Grayson County, Virginia, 8:22 a.m., Friday, July 1st, 2078. He wears faded blue jeans ripped into shorts, no shoes, and no shirt to cover his filthy, pale, sunburnt body. He reads an old, yellowed, printed, black and white script labeled Flutter for a Fortnight, Pilot, by Isaiah Isaac Isaacoff, copyright 2048, and smokes light green cannabis from a glass bong. Winnie's floating apartment reaches 50 yards from Isaiah and stops, surprising Winnie. The artificial glow of Winnie's eyes is still powered off, vacant and dark gray. Her apartment's walls are all clear windows to the outside world. Isaiah looks up, annoyed. Winnie exits and shouts to Isaiah. Winnie. Hello, hello, sir. Sorry, I'm Winnie Smith. You chased me away once, like 3 summers back, after catching me and my bud spying on you. It was super thrilling. Like, I was still a stupid kid then. Isaiah snorts and returns to his script and bong. Winnie. Oh, and I know I still am, but see, I just got back from my high school graduation trip around the globe, and I'm having a pretty different reaction than most. Like I'd die of boredom trying to be like them. Isaiah looks back up at Winnie. Winnie. But sir, you're the only person I've ever seen in a silver tier country, living in a house stuck to a piece of dry land like that. And I just got back from 22 silver tier countries. Isaiah, shouting back. We're out there, kid. Monge just didn't show us to thee. Winnie. Oh, I know. I read a little about the phenomenon online, but nothing said what I'm patiently getting at. So I was bravely wondering if I could kind of interview you about it to figure out if you're someone I should consider a role model. Isaiah gets up and starts slowly walking toward Winnie. He waves Winnie forward, leading her to walk toward him as well. Isaiah. Oh, a role model interview, eh? That's a big job. What sort of hellhounds would my coworkers be? Winnie. I'm not sure now. Isaiah. So, a little brush with the exotic turned the anti-authoritarian? Winnie. Maybe sort of. Isaiah. So, against whose absurd authority would the cynical, nonconformist, blues-singing, outraged American teen now like to rebel? Winnie. I guess Monge's? They stop walking as they meet in the middle. Winnie's more than a foot taller than Isaiah. Isaiah. Sorry, kid. It's only by the mercy of Monge that thou dost not starve. I haven't touched a piece of technology made after 1990 in 45 years, and rarely see any. I'll agree to thine interview if thou takest thy flying apartment back to one of those superbly awful apartment towers, like large woody noses reaching for the polluted sky, and then makest thy way back here with only tools from before then, not 3D printed, but built out of nature how they were before that year. Obeyest my rules to the atom, I shall know the difference. Winnie. You're on. I will try my best. In fact, I was thinking that nature could be a benevolently exciting way of feeling part of something bigger. Full disclosure, my body contains 2060 technology. My neural pathways are humbly skillfully crafted for levels of creativity and post-ethnic, post-patriarchal concord non-existent in 1990. And my muscles? Isaiah. Thy body's an exception. Thou art free to use all that superior ability of thine on this Herculean labor. Also, please try thy industrious best, not to speak of the 7 heavenly virtues, ironically. That medieval self-shame was the healthiest gift that the silver spoon of Jerusalem ever fed us. Isaiah offers a handshake, which Winnie accepts. Winnie. By the way, how will pre-1990 technology tell you to the atom? Isaiah. I haven't touched anything made after 1990 since 2033. That doth not mean new technology isn't still working for me. Winnie. Fascinating. Also, why that year? That can't be, like, the first computer with color, can it? Isaiah. Sorry. Something far more selfish and arbitrary. The year I was born. Interior Simon's apartment. Day. Glowing light blue walls. The only furniture is now a green couch which Simon sits on, still in his dress, pearls, and mohawk, eyes now glowing red. Still shocked, he holds his loose bottle tightly. Hologram graphs float overhead. Service, voiceover. And on Cheer Me, you do almost have 7 million views, 40 times what you had 25 minutes ago. Simon takes a few white Superbia loose pills and some green loose pills, called Nvidia. Its hologram appears briefly. Nvidia, the envy pill, for enhanced enjoyment of fashion, chasing trends, and consuming goods, may cause lack of benevolence and excessive resentment and disgust. Simon. I mean, this puts me, like, on track to be a politician now, right? Think my agents will call? Service, voiceover. Those who win congressional elections generally have at least 47 million views. At this rate, you're on your way there. Simon. Well, if the people and computers want me in government, then obviously I deserve it. But how'd this industriously happen? Like, the listicle video I co-produced, like 19 weeks ago, naming the 13 most geometrically beautiful wavelengths of red was magically perfect. Team Fire Engine Red for life, yo. Service, voiceover. The views for that one have just risen by 47 times, but controlling for recency of posting, it's not an outlier. Likely your agents just paid to artificially boost your visibility. I'm sure it wouldn't soar to cut a video about your reaction to this. Simon. Truth. First, let's do some shopping with this ill-in-view revenue. I need to see them all seeing me. Interior amusement hall. Day. Just like the one in Tibet, but for superficial decorations. Ethnic blurring and glowing eyes are as common. Fashion identical. There's another giant statue of the Wang & Wang logo. Snakes and apples, resembling DNA. Chiron, Wang & Wang Amusement Hall, Gen 11, Independence, Virginia. 11:06 a.m. Friday, July 1st, 2078. Winnie's the only one not on a hovering board. Artificial eyes still off, her makeup and hair dye are now washed away, revealing light brown hair. She's in a store called Remote and Bygone, looking at rock climbing equipment. Exterior Mount Rogers, day. Winnie hikes up the mountainside. She wears a brown jacket and pants, both covered in pockets, a gray backpack, and black boots. She listens to music on a Walkman through big, dorky 1980s headphones, singing along loudly, echoing off the mountains, stuff by like Rick Astley, Debbie Gibson, etc. In a series of shots, she keeps hiking, consults a paper map and a compass, admires the view, makes and eats PB&J sandwiches, watches two brown male frogs having sex, and uses equipment and a guidebook to poorly attempt rock climbing. After 7 physically comical failures at climbing one 40-foot cliff, she finally falls and seriously cuts open her left arm. Winnie screams in pain. Exterior Isaiah's cabin, day. A futuristic yellow cast on her arm, hiking outfit bloodstained. Winnie stands between her apartment and Isaiah. Winnie. So sorry there's really no way up that cliff without hardcore rock climbing, which I obviously can't do with a broken arm, but I tried my hardest and for sure had a worthwhile, fulfilling experience in the attempt. Isaiah. I'm sorry thou considerest thy hardest behind thee. Thou shalt not earn thine interview that way. Winnie. But we're talking about a legit medical issue. Isaiah. Welcome to the human condition. Fate gonna fate. If thou refusest to dance to its marvelous tune, fate shall bind and beat thee. Winnie. I could walk here from the top of the cliff if you want. I think I figured out what I'm rebelling against. An egotistical, ungrounded, self-obsessed, problematically alienating, lifeless culture, or parts... Isaiah. Here's an alternate path that our culture hath slothfully neglected since before the year I was born. Paint some golden silence about nothing, grow a long, durable, serpentine backbone, and flap it off. Then track down whatever germs off an electric slide taught thee that trying is good enough and whining is wise, and figure out what thou thinkest of their lives. Interior Amusement Hall, day. Identical to those in Tibet and Virginia, with another giant snake statue. Simon, eyes now glowing blue, glides through, his exceptional grooming and extravagance of bright, multicolored fashion somehow outdoing the rest of the crowds. Simon receives much recognition and excitement. Chiron, Wang and Wong Amusement Hall, Gen 19, Denver, Colorado, 7:17 p.m., Friday, July 1st, 2078. In a series of shots set to fast, upbeat music, Simon gets groomed and shops at many stores there, constantly attracting attention and posing. He buys a green German Shepherd puppy, the size of a baseball, eyes glowing yellow. Finally, Simon eats at a fancy restaurant with slower, calmer music. The puppy sits in a high chair across the table from him, wearing a yellow sweater. Floating pewter utensils cut their brightly colored food and feed them. Simon takes a handful of loose pills, green envies, blue greeds, white superbias, and more cyan pills. The hologram appears of the cyan pill, gula. Gula, the gluttony pill, for enhanced enjoyment of food and drink, may cause lack of temperance and excessive hunger and thirst. Exterior Grayson County, night. Winnie's clear apartment passes many giant apartment towers. The hundreds of flying apartments she passes are between docking at them. The tower frames are layered bronze, silver, and gold. Land between them is covered by pollution. No stars visible, the sky's full of bright, multicolored hologram ads. The ads include pornography for St. Scarlett's sex sims, people using and posing with a variety of futuristic consumer goods, clothes, food, and pets, and giant dancing pills. Winnie's apartment docks in the lower, bronze section of one tower, neatly sliding and clicking into place. Interior tower, night. Still in her blood-stained hiking outfit, eyes still off, Winnie enters a hallway and takes an elevator to the silver section. She walks past a few doors, then presses a doorbell. Thelma, voiceover. Is that really my Winnie? Winnie. Hey, Mama. Thelma, voiceover. Ooh, honey pup, you should have called. Hold up a beat. After a few beats, the door opens to reveal Thelma, 53, eyes glowing magenta, dressed like the consumers we've seen. She holds a loose pill bottle. Thelma. Such a temperate rush to see you. Interior Thelma's apartment, night. Walls glowing rose. There are 3 animals, the size and bodies of cats, with the heads of a lion, a fish, and a ram. Winnie enters. They hug. Thelma looks Winnie up and down. Thelma. Ick, but what are you wearing? And what happened to your arm? Is that blood? Where's your hoverer? And your starry eyes? Oh no, you need money? What is it? Gambling? Drugs? Sim addiction? A cult? Winnie, baby, who has your money? Winnie, Mama, calm down, okay? I'm fine and Gucci. I just graduated high school. I'm starting college in the fall. My media viewership's like a bit below average for my age, but I save very well. I can live off welfare the rest of my life. Thelma, okay, well, thank goodness. Do you want any food or loose? My treat? Winnie, sorry, that's okay. Can we sit? Thelma, of course. Service, pull up that adorable yellow couch I used to nurse Winnie on. A trap door opens. A lower floor rises, carrying the couch, clicking into place with the rest of the floor. They sit. Thelma pets the animal with the fish head. Thelma, okay, sweet, so what brings you here? And why are you dressed like an old-timey zookeeper? Thelma takes yellow sloth and magenta lust pills. Winnie, well, I just got back yesterday from my trip around the globe. Thelma, videos, service, open Winnie's Cheer Me and Disco Pete, stat 'em. Holograms appear, showing the home pages of Winnie's accounts on each media service. Think Instagram meets YouTube in 3D for both. She has around 4.7 thousand subscribers on each. Both start with several videos labeled as uploaded by Winnie in the preceding month from places like Norway, Spain, South Africa, Iran, China, Russia, Japan, and Peru. Thelma, you didn't cut any new videos yesterday or today? Kiddo, what's wrong with you? Winnie, yeah, I just, had other stuff on my mind. Thelma, like? Child, how can I make you feel bigger? Winnie, I feel way too big. I want to feel small. The Earth isn't just our own raw potential content. Ever wonder if maybe we Americans lost something precious by loving only oneself? Now everyone may as well be like an extraterrestrial from Krypton. Like, I know it's good we cut away some natural intolerance, but what if it's still better to love something bigger? And not something fake like standing a pop culture fandom, brand, or religion like a slave, but something real, like maybe not nature, but like maybe humanity, clarity, fate, originality, geometric beauty, liberty, power, or something. Thelma, fruity, I used to worry about that stuff too at your age. I cared about a political party so much then, I charitably canvassed for Senator Miley Ray Cyrus, but we can't stop for that now. See, I come from a different era. When I was born, that clown Kanye West was in the White House, dressing up as Lincoln, claiming he freed the slaves. Before the 8 Isaacoffean departments, even. Your robot tutors taught you about all that? Winnie nods, petting the animal with the lion head. Thelma, good. GMO babies were still pretty new. Not all the real jobs had gone to robots yet, so there were even human therapists still. My whole kidhood, loose came in only one kind, the white Superbias. I had my first loose luxuria the night of middle school prom, which I dumbly thought I chastely had to hide from my dad, in case he turned out to be clinging to darkness, unmoving and sleepily staring counterclockwise like dirt. Winnie laughs, petting the animal with the ram head. Thelma, social media hadn't yet driven us to put cameras and microphones in all our eyes, ears, and walls, so rape, murder, and police brutality still happened in the USA. We didn't know where things would end with Russia, China, and the Confederate state militias. Sure, as a teen I got to see my cousins down in Georgia and look up at the stars there, but we had far more to worry about. It was no dreamy dance party. We still had to use all our words as weapons to ruthlessly, bittersweetly, and patiently fight for Team Liberal Freedom. Winnie, so true. That's no white-hot lying summer fairy tale. I do get all that stuff. Thelma, and through all this shameless angst, I found the same moral wisdom as every modernly alienating, individuating, civilizationally domesticating, westward-walking, sunlight-stealing, serotonin-soaking, classically liberal selfist. That in the infinite universe of my own royally sheltered divine mind, I'm finally free to give me whatever answers best suit me, just so long as I'm tolerant of everyone else equally doing likewise. Winnie, isn't there a world of real subatomic facts, bigger than just us out there, though? Thelma, probably, but not with these, my angel. Facts that cut the cosmos down to atoms can now be just a dark, dehumanizing, objectifying lie that the ancient Greeks have been teaching us to make us feel hard, cold, and small. Thelma takes a couple white, loose Superbia pills. Winnie, sure, who's tailored read Letters of King James V, anyway? Thelma, let your inner light shine and the views will come. Like the old commercials said, YOLO, so loose. Interior amusement hall, day. Simon feeds the green puppy a blue gel. A crowd watches. Service, voiceover. Simon, your agents are calling. Shocked, Simon takes a handful of loose pills. Red wraths, green envies, blue greeds, magenta lusts, and white superbias. Fade out. Act 3. Fade in. Interior agents' home offices and Simon's apartment. Night. We intercut between Simon's apartment and the home offices of 7 talent agents, 45 through 70, 4 male, 3 female, their eyes glowing silver, dressed like the consumers we've seen. Their walls, etc., glow too. They see each other as holograms. The puppy naps in Simon's lap. Simon's eyes now glow white. Chiron, Mortimer Farrell Agents, Home Offices, and Simon's apartment. 3:05 a.m. Eastern Time. Saturday, July 2nd, 2078. Female Agent Number 1. So if you'd get your announcement video out today or Sunday, it could become like a chaste hot talking point for people seeing each other in person on the Monday holiday. The silver robotic arm feeds Simon several red, wrath, and blue greed loose pills. Male Agent Number 1. The patiently sooner the better. The robotic arm feeds Simon another few red wraths. Male Agent Number 2. Except not immediately. Over a third of the country will stay asleep for the next 3 hours. A mouthful of yellow sloths. Female Agent Number 2. But staying up working on it for a morning post makes sense. Around 8 a.m.-ish, your time's optimal. More red wraths and blue greeds. Male Agent Number 3. But don't kill yourself with the video this morning, because you still need staying beauty sleep. Yellow sloths and magenta lusts. Simon. Wow, huge thanks for your support. Why your computer drew me as one lucky enough for a super famous reputation is so out of my hands, but I guess I can only be humbly haughty for the stately grace and make the world happy, right? A mouthful of white superbias. The agents nod and smile. Female Agent Number 3. Exactly. That's the virtuous motivation of a princely champion. Exterior Mount Rogers, night. Winnie's cast has been replaced with a blue fiberglass one that could have existed in the 1980s. Waking up before dawn in a beige tent, she strains to spot a relatively faint third-quarter moon behind the ads in the sky. Interior Amusement Hall, day. Simon enters the hall with his puppy, now flanked by a clique of 6 hologram doubles of himself and the dog. Each Simon and dog double pair has separately colored clothes and glowing eyes. Red, yellow, green, cyan, blue, and magenta. The real pair wears and glows white. The doubles follow Simon closely on hologram hoverers. Each has body language and facial expressions reflecting the loose pills which its color corresponds to. The real Simon looks proud. Now every consumer recognizes Simon, many swarming to pose with him. Simon addresses the puppy. Simon. See my saccharine doll? See what a super sexy life I brought you into? Intercut exterior Mount Rogers and interior amusement hall, day. In another series of shots set to Winnie's cassette tape pop, Winnie keeps trying to climb the cliff, while Simon spends more time getting seen as a happy consumer. Finally, while Simon has a crowd of hundreds waiting to pose with his hologram clique, Cato P. Marcuse from the candidacy announcement video earlier, and his tiny blue Great Dane, Fisharliat, enter the hall, all 4 eyes now swiftly flashing through each color of the rainbow. Heads immediately turn. As the crowd abandons Simon to swarm around Cato, Winnie turns and walks away from the cliff. Interior Talent Agents Home Offices, day. Apparently outdoors, Female Agent Number 1 skis down a mountain. The sky is white, the snow blue. Giant 3D cartoon tokens, white surrounding gold, float throughout the mountain. She deliberately hits them, making them vanish with arcade-like animation and sound effects. The world freezes around her. Service, voiceover, same AI voice. Sorry to disturb you, but Simon is calling for urgent assistance with an in-person incident with Cato. Exterior Isaiah's cabin, day. Isaiah reads another old, yellowed, printed black and white script, Silmar's Prince, Pilot, by Isaiah Isaac Isaacoff, copyright 2048, still smoking pot. He hasn't changed or showered. A shiny titanium helicopter approaches, flown by Winnie. Isaiah smiles. It lands, and Winnie gets out, beaming. Winnie. Mission accomplished, sir. Interior Isaiah's cabin, day. They enter. It's fairly dark, with some sunlight coming through the windows. Tall piles of books and papers form a maze over most of the hardwood floor. Dust and dirt cover everything. There's an Apple Macintosh 2 and a boxy wooden-cased TV set, both off. There's a small gray pet turtle. Winnie sits on a worn-out brown couch. Isaiah gets glasses with ice from his fridge and water from his sink, then sits on a similarly worn black couch. They begin their interview. Winnie. So, sir, why do you live stuck to a piece of land, and why don't you touch new technology? Isaiah. Well, I like to put it this way. The putrid hall of mirrors, echoing the silver spoon enlightenment's booming narcissism, hath become just a touch too bright for my taste. Winnie. Okay, I've learned enough so I can get aboard that train of thought. At least a couple other logos is to choose from, then. Logoi? Logoi? Interior Agents, Home Offices, and Simon's apartment. Day. Seeing each other as holograms, Simon and male agent number 4 sit in their homes watching a hologram video of Simon's public encounter with Kato, his new rival and antagonist. Simon cries, eyes glowing white, petting his puppy, getting fed white Superbia pills by the silver robotic arm. In hologram, Simon and his clique glide through the crowd to the nearest door. The hundreds waiting to pose with Kato haven't let Kato get much past that door. Simon's hologram doubles pass through many, annoying some. Many who'd swarmed to Kato now still tried to pose with Simon. Kato. Ah, come on, my Kato clones. Now what's that hurricane caving in? Consumer number 1. We're posing with Simon. Kato. Did you ignite a Benny Clicksim based on loose? Why, my Kato clones, Fishy and Ivan shot anything so paperin-ish like over a year. Most of the crowd laughs. Simon starts stammering, mortified. Holding back tears, his clique behind him, he tries to glide out as fast as possible. Kato. Ah, stammerin' Simon, leave 'em all wantin' less. But for reals, my Tempe clones, here's an ace test for how derivative and influencer this lone lightning bolt Simon be. Have you named that wasted puppy? Simon starts crying and finally leaves the hall, the crowd laughing louder. The hologram video ends and minimizes, revealing it was playing on Shear Me, where it already has 28,128 views. This number keeps ticking. Simon cries louder. Male agent number 4 watches quietly as Simon angrily tears apart the upper edge of his fancy new clothing and waves his arms at the Cheer Me hologram, making it ripple. A mouthful of yellow sloth pills and white Superbia pills then calms him down after a beat. Service, voiceover. Conflict cells. I've generated several options. Male agent number 4. Just do your thing, robot. Service, voiceover. Call me AI. Interior Isaiah's cabin, night. Winnie and Isaiah sit in a cloud of smoke, eating microwave popcorn. It's dark out, but 2 candles burn inside, one red and one blue, both running low. Candle wax drips onto the floor. Isaiah, eyes red from the pod, hits his bong, the orange flame leaving behind black and white ash. Isaiah. A conspiracy of science, the market, and parental choice genetically engineered thy generation to have higher self-esteem than anyone else ever, embodying the ethos of demonically alienated, individualistic, hip adolescent rebellion. My problem is that nearly all American males had already been elevated by technology and culture to excessively high self-esteem since at least 1970. Thou sayest thou wantest to submit to something bigger? Almost 0 American males my age or younger shall be able to connect with thy motivation. Are we so sure that thou, Winnie Smith, art not a time traveler from a golden era much older than Americana? Winnie. So just males had excessive self-esteem back then? Did non-GMO girls ever make it there? Isaiah. Probably yes, by like 2035 or so, but that mayest not be for me to comment on. Dost thou know, youth, who else had high self-esteem? Winnie. Hitler? Aggressive, violent sociopaths think very highly of themselves. He smiles and passes the bong. She glances at another old, yellowed, printed black and white script labeled Elves and Trolls Pilot by Isaiah Isaac Isaacoff, copyright 2048, atop a stack of more yellowed paper. It dawns on her that she's been talking to the former president. She smiles and takes a hit. Isaiah, thou knowest thy George Carlin, but dost thou know thine Ovid? Rememberest what happened to Narcissus in the Metamorphoses? Winnie, sure, he fell in love with his own reflection, right? The original self-esteem movement, I guess. Winnie glances at a framed Polaroid of Isaiah, 55, and Ben Wang, 54, male, Asian, eyes glowing dark blue, both laughing, wearing red and blue suits, embraced by a black snake, Logos, eyes glowing white, standing on a boardwalk in Memphis, on the Mississippi River, under red, white, and blue fireworks. Isaiah. Narcissus didn't invent hubris, but that ancient Roman story captureth the dangerous infernal prison of mirrors, cameras, screens, microphones, speakers, social media, screenshots, height verifications, and the extreme subjective individual self-consciousness cultivated by the inside world of the Hypergenesis 126 path westward from Jerusalem, Imago Dei, and the imaginary hard line between humans and animals, but no original sin. In black marker, the photos labeled III, BOW, Logos, Memphis, Tennessee, 7/4/2045. He yawns and stares at the ceiling. Winnie. So you escape from Abrahamic selfism here in the outside world? Isaiah. Some spiritual ego deaths achieved by Earth's natural environments and its DNA. But thou needst a singular cosmic ontology, like Carl Sagan's, to destroy thy sense of atomistic self and soul. Winnie. So, like, we are a way for the wild, harmonious cosmic dream to elevate its own joyful utility. Isaiah. I didn't leave American culture, it left me, thoroughly by embracing loose. Those damn pills are literally the 7 deadly sins. It's those Latin words. And the irony's fully lost now, if there's no one even left to remember that. We needed anti-superbia, sincere humility. At least the males did. Winnie. Your departments tried to be that anti-selfism. Why'd they fail? Isaiah. Our team of utilitarian technocrats gradually caved to seek celebrity and money, as did the dirty, cheating Supreme Court justices appointed by Trump and Kanye. We tried to make a nation of hyper-competent phoenixes, but ended up with one of needy, narcissistic puppies. It's real objective geometric beauty, not vanity. That's the true muse of intellect. The red candle burns out. The only light left in the room is from the lone blue candle. Isaiah shuts his eyes. Isaiah. Thou and I, Ben, we're the reason the robot wars of the 40s and 50s left the remainder of the USA a silver-tier nation. Why Monge gets to build their sprawling, avaricious, roomy amusement halls across our abundant dry land, for all Norwegian and Japanese citizens to come crash, park, and play tourist, whenever outer space feels too cramped a place for them to run, dance, and live. Winnie. But Monge still isn't the enemy? Isaiah. No, the military alliance of Norway and Japan should be our inspiring role models. I do hear what they did, like government incentives for gene cutting to numb some religious impulse, and we should also build from the ashes of the old biases the strongest possible sensation of cosmic oneness, so we can viscerally feel intensely the fact that inasmuch as we do something unto our stardust brethren, we do it unto the cosmos itself. Winnie. Now that's a message all ears in the cosmos must hear. Thou needst to humbly come out of hiding and run again on that. The cameras in my eyes have recorded all of this. This interview can be thy candidacy announcement video. The whole earth shall tune in to thy return. Isaiah opens his eyes and sits up. He looks at Winnie, shocked and horrified to remember who he's been ranting to. The blue candle burns out, leaving the room totally dark. Interior, Simon's apartment. Night. It's the sitcom living room again. The backdrop's changed for nighttime. The simulated family now has starry eyes. The teenage son and daughter, both dressed as earlier, but now both covered in glitter, play together with dolls in a dollhouse. The son's mascara stains have turned multicolored. Simon enters, eyes glowing white, wearing a multicolored Hawaiian shirt, bright salmon Bermuda shorts, and cyan flip-flops, carrying a tall, rectangular white cardboard box labeled Chancellor Chandler's Choice Chips. Simon. Hey, hey, he, what it be, progeny? Audience laughs. The teens don't look up at Simon. Simon. So, guess what happened to Papa Bear on my way home from work? They look up. The daughter's eyes glow green. Son's magenta. Daughter. You broke bad and stole the box a homeless dude was sleeping in? Laughs. Simon shakes his head and puts the box down. Unseen by any of them, a middle-aged mother enters, eyes glowing red, in the professional business attire of an upper-middle-class American woman from the O's, with a blue top, red pants, and green shoes. She sips a glass of white wine. Son, you finally realized Mom's not hot anymore, so you want to buy our allegiance in the divorce with a pillar of salty snacks? Laughs. The mother looks comedically offended. Simon. No, son, that's horribly sexist. It's the current year. Laughs. From inside the box, a puppy barks. The teens look ecstatic as the audience oohs. Comedically furious, the mother approaches them from behind. The teens gleefully open the box and pull out Simon's tiny green puppy, naked, covered in glitter, eyes glowing cyan. Audience ahs. Daughter. What's Mom gonna say? Mother. She's gonna say she married a frickin' putz, that's what. Huge laughs as Simon and the teens look comedically shocked. Simon. Oh, would a putz run for president? Audience gasps. The mother and teens look shocked. Simon turns to us, full of pride, dignity, and self-esteem. Simon. Yep, as of this moment, know that I, Simon, am officially declaring my candidacy in the 2080 USA presidential election. Audience cheers and oohs. The simulated family's thrilled. Son. You're running for president so you get a dog? Dad, so derivative. Simon. Hey, I'm still touchy on that word. Laughs. Simon's upset for a beat, then turns to us again, confidence, serenity, and composure returning abruptly. Simon: here's an idea. Everyone who pledges their vote to me before the end of this Monday's holiday gets to vote on the puppy's name. Audience cheers. The mother smiles and rolls her eyes. Mother: oh my. I can't say I'm thrilled about this particular impulse purchase, but I gotta admit, babe, that's super clever. She kisses Simon. Audience ahs as the teens look grossed out by their parents and turn away to play with the puppy in the dollhouse. The world freezes in time, including Simon. We zoom out to reveal that this family life scene was playing on Cheer Me in front of Simon, who sits petting his dog. Holograms of the 7 agents and the 6 hologram doubles of Simon all nod at him. Simon gives each a high five, then takes a handful of white pills from his loose bottle's center section. The hologram of the white pill, Superbia, appears. Superbia, the self-love pill, for enhanced self-confidence, vanity, dignity, pride, antisocial, individualist self-esteem, and sensation of subjective, alienating, atomistic, mortal, silver spoon-fed, Abrahamic, divinely imaged, liberal individuation. In high doses, meant to bring one's self-esteem scale rating above 5.0, may cause lack of humility and recklessly high self-worth. Simon: yeah, okay. Post it. Fade out.